Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Legion Labs. I am your host, JR. Today we got Nick and Jose. What's going on, guys?
Watching the rebels burn.
I mean, they kind of got up a little bit, right? Because as we all know, they came out with the points update on Wednesday, with some other minor changes to the rules, which I think is all good. There's some things that I'm like gripe about, but at the same time, I'm not really griping about it. Um, but yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. Let's go over it a little bit. Um, we'll go off with the Recon Intel going up by 3 points. What do you guys think?
Should happen.
I was fine with it. I wasn't using it anyways.
It just annoys me so much because like I know Recon Intel is so like hot right now because of the way the game's played, but I feel like that's not why you need to decrease the points. Like I just think you just limit recon intel on a bunch of units. Because the units that are really good are the ones that already get the scout that's in
Sure.
their unit card, right?
Yeah.
And this made other units for a way to get a little bit of a benefit, a boost.
But you were also using it to make those units that had scout have even farther scout, give them scout
Hmm.
three.
True,
So that was also happening.
true. And I feel like I hate when they nerf something that nerfs everybody because there's obviously not so great units using it to get that advantage. And then there's greater units that use it for even greater advantage. And now it's just, ah, everyone sucks at it now. Okay, here we go.
Nah, dude, it just the units were abusing it were already abusing the 200 extra points. The units that were maybe taking it, like you'll find the room for it if you really want to take it.
I think it's just, I think it's, and it's a little, maybe looking too much. I think it's just their MO. When they see something being taken by everything, then they up the points. Same thing happened to Tenacity.
Yeah, which is interesting because, like, do you think AMG is trying to get you to take a Swiss Army knife army to the board, to the game, actually? Because from what I
Probably
see,
what they would prefer. Yeah.
yeah, because like every time you can spam something, they nerf it. And then like I feel like you want to run a bunch of stuff to cover a bunch of loose ends or just to get a good, which I guess I'm okay with because spamming one good thing over and over again just kind of makes the game like, oh, all right, here we go. You know what I mean?
It's just forcing you to specialize in something. Because if you want a list that specializes in movement and extra movement, like you're gonna abuse scout regardless. But if you're an army that doesn't need to abuse, if that abusing that extra movement is not something that is gonna make or break you, then and it was just icing on the cake. Well, guess you just don't get to take it now. And that's what I miss. Like I like the rock, paper, scissors stuff like that we used to have, that we don't really have so much outside of just like faction like meta stuff. Like I like the fact that they do stuff like that. There should be stuff like that.
They just buffed your crab droids, JR. It was a crab droid buff. It
It,
was. It was.
it
They
was.
they
Yes,
they
I
have
agree.
scouting party at the beginning of
Yeah,
other units that they have to
yeah.
pay for.
Oh, and and then they nerfed them at the same time. And I played a game today with Rob, with crab droids to try to make them work, and I just don't feel like it's enough. I took two, so my list was Dooku, Asajj, and then two crab droids, five B1s with the T series, and the B1s had the E5C and then the T series in it to get that extra surge. Rob played a good game though, and I played it horribly. I made a lot of mistakes, but I really wanted to see what these crab droids would do, and I just like they scout up, then Asajj and Dooku scout up. I'm like, it's nice, but for 80 something points, I don't think it's that nice.
Don't they throw two red, two black at range three though?
Sure, right? That's
With
what she
impact
said.
three, with impact three, with red saves. That just
No,
sounds like yes,
so
impact three.
no, that's the other gun
Gun.
for 10
Yeah,
points.
aren't you taking that gun?
That's five blacks.
or five blacks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
five
So,
blacks, right?
so yeah, the
Yeah,
other one is two red, two black that have nothing on it.
yeah. Your five black range three guns, 10 points, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean, you're paying not much more than I'm paying for my ATRT, your red with scouting party.
yeah, but you also get six health.
Yeah, but
And
white saves.
sure, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
You can't even compare the
How much is your rotary blaster?
20.
20.
Okay, well, I mean, I get it, right? How much are
Just
ATRs right now?
just say it's not JR style and leave it at that.
Well, it's definitely not. It's definitely not my style, but
Because I think they're good, solid. I think they're gonna be fine. It's just not
I
your style.
well, because like also the problem is that you got to take a program with them, right? And
Mhm.
that just went up in points. Arguably, you could take the cheaper option now, which is engagement protocols, but program AI attack and AI defense protocols have went up to 8 points now. And I get it, it's because you're paying for the extra keywords. And AI doesn't really matter anymore, so it's just the keywords that really
You
matter.
don't you don't think that's a backhanded nerf to
The Persuader tank, right?
yeah, EX cheese?
But see, here's the problem though. Like you could have just made the snail droids in the experimental droids go up in price, as opposed to nerfing, like I said, everything with this change. Because the fact that we have to stick a program card on it is like a slap in the face, right? Because it's not actually the printed unit card's price when you get the unit card. You're just like, oh, this is, let me guess, I think they're like 80 points. I could be wrong. Like the
I
crafters.
I consider it a wash since your downside to CIS no longer even exists anymore.
That's not my fault.
Yeah.
That's not my fault. Okay. But
I'm with you,
but
Nick.
but
All I
like
heard, all I heard for 4 years of Freud's don't suffer from depression, but we have AI now.
I'm not wrong. You're not wrong. I can't even argue that point. But like the commandos get katana armor for free. They get their weapon equipped for free. Like
But
you
they
just
do, but they did go up 15 points. So
sure, which is a good change, which is a good change. I was talking to John about this. I was just like, man, if they go up to 95 points, because we were thinking they're gonna get increased by 20 points, you still play them. He's like, no, if they go up to 95, I'm never playing them again. I'm just like, they're still good, even at that price. So I'm curious to
they
see.
are, but everything went up, right? Everything went up. It is tough. Although, I mean, I took Daniel's list that he played against me. It went up about 100 points.
Yeah.
So what about 100 points? But all I did, I dropped a strike team. I dropped one commander and like a couple upgrades and legal list again. And so like I only dropped one act, and the act I dropped was a strike team. Still legal. I was like, all right. I mean, it is something, but still seems pretty good.
Your list or Dana's list?
No,
Daniel.
Daniel's list that he played against me.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, I mean,
Mm,
it's a nice change in the right direction, in my opinion.
Oh, for sure. For sure. I'm definitely not going to complain. I'm sure a lot of people are going to say it was too much, but I don't think it was.
oh, it's all boo. My poor Gar feelings. It's so hilarious. And people are like, shut up, I play Rebels.
Well, I mean, okay, let's go over the changes for Gar.
Yeah,
So,
let's do it.
uh, pivoting from the AI increase, Gar Anakin is now plus 15 points. Good change. I still think he should go up more. Arcs plus 6. I still think they need to go more, but good change. Arcs up 2. Clone Commander upgrade. This is the one that gives him the surge. Goes up plus 8, which is good. The
Yeah, right.
yeah, Clone Commandos 15. So they're now 90 points, which is good. Delta, I kind of like that Delta just went up 5 points because I mean you wouldn't have taken it if it went more than that. The Clone Medic is 3 more points, and the Bark Speeder sidecars are all down by 3 points. So that the upgrade weapons you can take.
You're
And
still
then
not gonna take them.
Yeah.
I think
Uh,
Gars in this edition with the nerf of fire support and the speed down, it's useless taking them. I think what they should have done is just they leave the points as is. They're not fire support platforms anymore, and just like knock off the speed penalty.
Well, here's the argument, right? I just want to point out to you, Yoda also went down by 10 points. So Yoda got a buff. But you don't think now that the clone commandos went up to 90 that people would rather run bark speeders than clone
No, because
commandos?
barks are worse. Like barks are
They're cheaper
terrible.
though.
It's I don't it's a terrible unit. Like you could cut other places and not have to worry about barks. Like
Well, then
they're
why is crab droids good if they roll red saves and bark's not good
I
if they
told
roll red
you
saves?
why. I told you why last time because it's a mobile line of sight blocking. You get the scout, and on top of that, they don't have to worry about taking off on a compulsory move. Like that's all downside for a bark speeder.
I don't think barks are bad. Now, are they the best thing to take? Maybe not, but that doesn't mean they're bad.
You
They're
take the
still a
ATRTs over the barks every time.
I don't know
yeah.
because I
Maybe
actually
maybe
I
not
actually
because of red saves.
ATRTs are red saves, mobile cover. They're 10. They come built in with the impact option with critical one. You have three white dice, but whatever. And then you get to pay for the cheap four beam gun, which with this cover mirage system that they got, that's you're sinking wounds almost every time. And then you could just sit them there, like line of sight blocking and Gar is like crazy, dude. Like
they also
the
got mobility, and mobility is really important in this new mode of the game. Arguably,
Yeah,
I don't know what's more important. Probably durability is more important than mobility, but if you have both of those things, I think that's really important. Um, I honestly I like all these changes. Why do you guys think they nerf or buff Yoda?
because of the charge, relentless, steady change.
I think so too. I think
Yeah.
so too.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because now Yoda can't move Bad Batch and have Bad Batch.
Which is interesting because this nerfs a lot of people, right? This also nerfs
Oh yeah.
pull the string because
it's
you can't steady off of a snowtroopers no more.
Hmm. Hmm.
So it's like, why did he get a buff? You know? Um,
I think it was just because everything else they have went up in points. Um, but and Luke got minus 10 points too because he lost something as well. So
is that was that Jedi Knight Luke?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
the change to that though, like I honestly believe that that change was like I said it earlier in our chat on our Discord, that was an Anakin related tuning knob because taking charge, steady, relentless, like yes, that not all those are on Anakin, but Anakin was the one abusing it the most off of his tempted because he
Well,
could move and then charge or move and relentless, whatever
let's
he has.
let's go over that. So for the new update, charge setting relentless only works during the unit's own
Yep.
activation.
Yeah.
So anything outside of that activation, it relentless, steady, and charge won't prop. But like again, I understand this is probably mostly for Anakin, and this is shaving the top off of how good Gar is, but at the same time hitting everybody else harder, right?
Um, Not
Yeah.
harder, but the same. The same
No,
because
it's harder because you lose Vader. You know, the whole point about Vader taking a standby is he can't be suppressed, and then he's just gonna walk up and mollywop you or saber throw you. Same thing with Dooku. There's no point in putting yourself out there and setting up a standby play because now your opponent knows, well, he can't attack me. It's solely just going to be a move play.
Well, Dooku couldn't really do that anyways because
Yeah, he could
he doesn't have relentless or steady. Only on his
on
one
his
pip. But he
yeah,
does
yeah.
and
but on your one pip, you're not taking a standby. You're going in and killing things.
there were times where I mismeasured and I had to take a standby.
Sure,
So
sure. But I mean it hurts Dooku the least.
Yeah.
Um,
I do also have to think that it is also what they said as well. They said they did this so that they're not hindered by things they create in the future, that they have to worry about, you know, people getting attacks, extra attacks. So
and that sort of yeah, I kind of do understand that logic because I was talking to John about like so many things he could do with Yoda and Bad Batch as far as steady goes. And you're right. I mean, maybe they want to make more steady characters and relentless characters and charge characters, but look what you could already do. And particularly in Gar, Gar could really do all these
Mhm.
tricks. I mean, if the Empire started getting steady units, then you got Palpatine getting, more playtime now because of the pull strings.
Yeah. I'll say curious because you play more competitive list JR than I do.
Hmm.
So how often have you seen or are seeing Bad Batch played without Yoda? Is it always Yoda in Bad Batch? Let's say eight out
Yeah,
of ten times. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So now that that's gone,
Hmm.
right? What they were playing that so they could use Yoda on Bad Batch. Does that mean that Bad Batch will now not be seen all Gar?
No, I still think the Yoda Bad Batch combo is still good because,
Really?
yeah, well, I mean, it did get a nerf. Don't get me wrong, but like,
Oh,
you can
okay, go
still
ahead.
you can still guidance Bad Batch to take a standby, right? And then it gets harder and pulling off the gimmicks, right? Which I think is a good change because when you get gimmicks, then they get the I gotcha, and then the person just like table flips doesn't want to play the game anymore, right?
Yeah. I do agree there's probably still some playability there, but that is a significant to how people are playing those two
That
characters. And the knee jerk reaction is always going to be pull it. It's gone.
Sure.
They're going to pull it
Sure.
off. They're going to pull out of the list completely. I don't think you'll see it. You're gonna only see Bad Batch.
dude, that also hurts Yoda Wookiees. Like Yoda Wookiees was big too, and now that's gone.
Well, the problem yeah, I do agree in Nerf rookies, even Recon Intel Nerf rookies. It made me so upset. Um, but what do you take with Yoda? You know, like there's a argument for Yoda Anakin that I could see being good, but I just think Bad Batch and Yoda are still good because of the guidance.
Does does Yoda I haven't like I said, I haven't played a lot and I haven't watched a lot like I used to. Like does Yoda have like the same purpose that he did like in Old Legion? Like in Old Legion, you could double tap a VAP, you could grab a box, run away. Like I don't see these things that in these new missions being such Yoda friendly, like other than you were just now this new edition just basically made him into a just abusing one unit like Bad Batch. Like I
Well,
don't
see,
see him.
the thing about Yoda is he's very versatile in what he can do. He can play a lot of roles. I think the biggest role he plays is the supporting role of the troops because his 3 pip gifts token, his 2 pip gives two characters relentless, and then his 1 pip is aggressive. But as you're playing these command cards, you're getting the other ones right back. So
Yeah, but how did but that's what I'm trying to say is in the old edition that made a lot of sense because he was able to finagle more of the VPs, whereas these VPs now they're not
well, think
as
about it.
finagly.
I was talking to John about this. Is like arcs are really good, right? And I know they just got nerfed, but like if you run the arcs squad with the clone captain or commander that gives a surge, theoretically you could play Yoda's 2 pip on turn one. You scout, then you double move, and then you shoot off a relentless. Like that's practically the whole board. I mean, you're definitely shooting into their deployment zone. Um, and so like what the shenanigans that Yoda can do can catch any opponent off guard if they haven't played Yoda a good amount.
And he's a Courage 4 commander too.
Yeah, yeah. The 3 pip's amazing. Like all those tokens you get to share off of him. Like it's not exemplar, so you can pull off as many tokens as you want. And like what I would like to do is throw Yoda down someone's throat and then play his 3 pip because every time you shoot at Yoda, you generate an aim from the clone boys. Like it's really good. I mean, you run the risk of killing them, but I mean, it's still good. Um, So yeah, Rebel. I know we went over OP Luke. He got minus 10 points to 165, and then Rebels Medic Droid went up 2 points. How do you feel about this, Nick?
Why? Why? I don't. I guess they raised all of them, so they have to raise the Rebel one too. I don't. Yeah, I don't think that was a problem.
The
If
Rebel one
I,
seems useless.
it's not useless, but I mean, if there was, I guess the reason I guess I'm just saying I can only think of the reason they raised it because they raised all there wasn't anything out there.
Yeah, but when I say useless, I'm like you're healing a white save unit 90% of the time. Like it seems useless.
Well, no, you're using it on Luke, Bad Batch. You're yeah, you taking it, you're taking it to heal your wrist.
And
The real nerf was the Jin. The real nerf was the Jin Urso. Now her one pip, I can't her so this is and I know no one cares, but I'm gonna talk about this.
Let it out, Nick.
She has a card that gives her charge to use outside of her activation. Her
Rebelliousness.
her rebellious one pit is before the unit before they do the rally step, she gets to activate, and the card gives her charge so she can charge. She can't do that now. Like so, the card it's like they just it's just like it's not
well,
worthless,
well,
but they're taking away what the card was supposed to do.
You
fingers
have one
crossed.
less command card to worry about though, Nick.
Well, fingers crossed that they're coming out with the new gen, right?
More command cards.
If you want to talk about that, we can talk about what they said. I'm not even hopeful for that now.
Which, okay, yeah, well, before we get to that, let's go finish the points update. Empire, their Mega Droid also went up 3 points. And then CIS, holy cow,
I hate everything.
the PK Repair Droid went up 10 points.
That's
That was
so
necessary.
That
stupid.
was
That
not
was
necessary.
yes, it
No,
was. Yes,
No,
no.
it
it's a
was.
repair droid. It's not a medic.
They changed your multiple wound
Okay,
core unit
but
from white saves to red and didn't raise the healing. That's
that
made no sense.
that's the core problem. That's not a PK problem. That's the core problem, right? Like that's hey, the B2s are being too strong. Okay, we'll do something about the B2s. Don't take it on the PK.
But the PK was healing the B2s.
There's other ways to handle that without raising the points. Like,
No,
uh,
it was undercosted. I was so happy to see that.
then they nerfed the Viper droid by making it plus 3 points. Nobody took the Viper droids.
I
Only
never
B2
took the
did.
Vipers.
Well, B2 did
Only
for the extra wound.
yeah, they did for on the B2 unit, right? So again, abusing it in the B2s.
Well, see this.
So
Good.
well, so this and this is not. I mean, this is not really right. They took a core unit you could take six of and completely changed it. They changed it. I mean, completely changed it, right? That's going to have so many repercussions, and it did. It did. They had to up these points.
It just was so unnecessary to me. Like it's just like I don't even. Well, it was hard because you can't increase the B2's points, right? Because they cost so much already. Um, I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I wasn't playing them, but I don't like not having the option to. Well, dipping in my
Yeah.
pockets.
I might drop the B2s. We were talking about that. I might drop B2s and drop Dooku and
But
switch to Grievous
here's
They're
and
still really
Magnus
good
and
though.
yeah,
Reexes.
that's the same thing about Clone Commandos that I was having an argument with John. They're still really good. Like, why would you not take them? Like,
Because my list is now plus
sure, you got to make
20.
adjustments to your list. Sure,
My
but
list, my list is so my list is very finely tuned, where I don't think I'm really abusing anything. Hell, I'm even taking the unpopular options. But now, even if I was to switch from the HA to the ACM, I'm still over. And everything in that list, I need specifically that way for that list to function, which is the list I've been repping. And now it's like now I can just cut everything and just free up another 100 points and then reinvest. Like the B2 squads might just turn into big boy B1 squads, and I might just eat it there because
well, they're
I,
still really good. Like, they didn't get
yeah.
a point increase, so I feel like you still take BTs. You just can't do the shenanigans of repairing. Which sucks because the Grievous combo is really good with them with the PK series. Like you ruthless commander, they take a wound, then they heal that wound back. It was amazing.
Yes, it sounds like it needed to be 10 points more expensive.
um, so Jose, you were telling us the things you didn't like. Anything else you didn't like about these changes?
right now, not really. Just the because I'm just playing CIS right now, so CIS stuff I was really like I said, you know me, like I don't play super meta lists, but the lists I do play, I tune them over and over and over till I find a sweet spot of how I like to play the list. And the like when I if you would have told me, hey Jose, do you think your list is gonna get reworked and shredded and shit on in the morning? Like I would have been like, nah, dude, there's nothing in my list that deems that. Like it's crazy. Like here's the thing, like the Grievous Ruthless B2 PK stuff. Yes, I get it, but after running that play so many times, like the only opponents that really, really, really ate it were people that didn't expect it. Like you dodged it, Nick's dodged it. You know what I mean? Like it's not as overpowered as it sounded. But on top of that, like I said, like I don't I don't think it needed to be that way. Like it's I don't know.
It had to be though because it's a spamming issue because you can take six of them.
I
That's why.
nobody's taking six
Yeah,
B2s.
there. Yeah,
Well,
there.
Is there?
Yeah.
Who?
I would take 6B2. Why wouldn't you?
What's that list look like? 9 acts
No, you can get it to 10x.
with six
You
B2s?
could do it with T series, Kalani, six
mhm.
B2s, and you maybe I don't know what you would add for like support wise, but yeah, you could do that. But I
Well,
mean,
then you're
you
not
could
then you're
have
not
done that in the
but
past.
but
Now
then
that these changes, not so
but
much.
then you're not abused like Nick's saying like it's the thing sounded like it needed to be nerfed because it was being abused like the Grievous stuff. Well, if you're taking Kalani and all that, like you're not gonna have 10 acts because you need Grievous, which is
I actually ran this. I ran a list
170.
against Michael. Let me pull it up here.
Well, it's not even just about taking the PKs in the B2 squad, right? You can put them in your B1 squad, right? So you could take four B2s,
I
some
feel like
B1s.
it was a
So
backhanded nerf to like I feel like it's a backhanded nerf to EXD.
no, I think it was B2 related.
No,
Because
because EXD was taking PKs
EXD already existed though for
with
gosh, EXD came out a year and a half ago now.
yeah, and
So
it was nerfed and it was still great. And now it got another backhanded nerf. Like I feel like it's more in Jared's wheelhouse of this nerf was for a specific reason and everything else just like sucked underneath it. Like man, like I mean I feel like I'm gonna swap and just do Grievous, Magna Guards, big B1 blobs and switch to like I don't know, BX is like
So then, overall, this announcement, Jose, do you give it a thumbs up or thumbs down as good changes? Like
uh
everything that was announced, all of it, just in general, you feel like this is a good change, good announcement for the game.
mm, I can't say it's a yes or a no. What I will say is I feel like I felt before since AMG's taken over the game. These dudes just don't know what they're doing.
No, you gotta give me a thumb up or thumb down. You got
I
it.
can't. I feel like
you,
it's they don't know what they're doing. Like
So
they
then it's
do not know
a
what they're
thumbs
doing.
down.
Well, no, because some of it's good. Like the Gar stuff's good,
Okay, so but like if
some of it is utterly like bullshit. Like Jin, I'm with Nick here. I love Jin. I play Jin. I when I run Rebels, I'm the idiot who's running Rogue One. I'm running Pow, Biston, three Pathfinders, Cassian, K2, Jin. I'm running freaking like it's a ridiculous list because it gets up to like 11 activations with like every slot plugged in and I still have like 40 points left over. Like I play that and he's right. Jin had nothing going for her. Every like going on as the game's gone on. Like Jin used to be, she's great, but she's terrible. You bring her and she'll be okay. And then as the games rolled on, it's like okay, she's worse. She's worse. I mean, the Jin's like 90 points, and people are like, man, she needs to come down. Like at this point, what to justify Jin, we need to make her like 40 points because her command cards are gone,
they're
which was
not gone,
a
they're
big
not
tool,
gone.
a bit
They work differently
really.
now. That way.
No, complete the mission is utterly useless. Complete the mission is utterly useless. Rebelliousness, utterly
It's
useless.
not,
Uh,
but it just doesn't. You can't do the
well,
gimmick.
why are you playing rebelliousness? You're playing it for the charge. What
yeah.
is she gonna do
Sure.
now? Just fire off her three dice and hope for the
I
best?
mean, she could be already be engaged and still attack, right?
That's generally not how you had her
That
set up,
yeah, that's
though.
not how
You
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 Sure,
play
you would
her.
sure.
you would play it when she was close enough that if they want
Yeah.
to activate, you're going in. Otherwise, you get to activate and then still go in again. So yeah,
Like
it's
Jin
And
should be
I
40 points.
and I agree with you. And that's what I think is like I don't know about 40, but what I'm saying is that I'm finding that a lot of the units that how we play them, you can't play them that way no more.
Okay, 60 points. 10 minus 10 points for each command
well,
card.
and I agree with that, JR. But this is a you just can't play the card. The card doesn't do what it's supposed to do,
Sure.
and it was totally unintended consequence of the rule. They weren't. I don't even think they even know Jin's in the game, so they were just thinking about Anakin and
I
Yoda and those cards, right? That's why
what
they.
what I would like to do, it would never happen. You remember when AMG first took over the game and they're like, here's Shadow Collective, and they got shredded in the chat for playing everything wrong. Like, I want all these changes. I want AMG to be like, I want you guys to make a list, make a list, and then and play. Let me see the list you're gonna make that's gonna function. I don't think they understand what they're doing. Like I've always
Oh,
said it
so
a
I'm gonna
thousand
play.
times. Like they should have you know people who understand the meta, who understand the game, who understand the units, come in and show them what a list is like. Because I feel like all this stuff is not. I feel
Well,
like it's guys making rules for a game they don't play and a game they don't understand.
I'm actually gonna play devil's advocate on this one because they've already openly said that they've been testing out this new version for like 3 years, right? Something like that. And at first, when the Geonosians came out, they were just hot garbage to the Legion. It's like, why did they come out with this? And then we got 2.6, and now I understand why they went that Geonosians route, right? They are good in 2.6, horrible in Legacy. So the Crab Droid I shit on the most, but something tells me that they have something they haven't came out with. Maybe it's the Aqua Droid that's gonna make the scouting party really good for the units, right? Because learning my lesson from the Geonosians, this unit is garbage by itself. Oh wait, maybe it's gonna come out with something else that's gonna make it really good, right?
Yeah, I don't think any flaw they have is because they don't understand the game. They do understand the game. Yeah, the flaw they have is their release. It's their release.
So they hold on. So they understand the game so much they deleted a command card and didn't say nothing about it.
But that's the thing. We don't know what's in the pack next summer, and that's what I'm saying. So that's what their
So we have
flaws.
to
Their
wait till
release.
next. We have to wait for next summer for you to be like, yeah, they really don't know what they're doing.
Well,
No,
correction.
so but that's what I'm saying. That's the flaw. That is what they're doing.
And on that note, they did say, well, before we get there, I want Nick's take on these changes. So Nick, what do you think? Overall, good changes or bad changes?
Yeah, I feel like unless you're a bar player, you can't say this was bad. It's good. This this has to be good. I
Mm.
mean, that'd be I think you have good.
Yeah, I would agree with Nick on this one. I like the changes. Some things I do agree with Jose, like that didn't need to happen. We could have did a different route with it, but overall, if I had to give it a grade, I'd be like thumbs up because clones really need this hammer nerf, and I'm excited to see what they do. It doesn't seem like they got nerfed like hardcore, like to where they can't be played. It just seems like icing off the top a little bit.
It's for anybody who played Legacy Legion and Clones Heyday. All this is Rexstar to Arcstar again.
Yeah,
Rexstar
sure,
was
sure.
overbearing, fucking wild, and then freaking FFG was like, bang bang, nerf, ha, got you. And then the guard players like, actually, we're gonna cut here, cut here, cut here, boom, Arcstar. Like it's
But it didn't
not
dominate.
enough.
It didn't dominate as much as Rexstar, right? Arcstar was a good
It was
list, but it didn't dominate,
it
right?
was still up
It
there
was
though. It was
still, yeah,
still winning. It was
it
still
was a
winning
good,
events
and I
a
think that's
lot.
important. I think that's important.
Because
Each
then it got
faction,
nerfed again after that, and that's when Arcstar died.
well, that's what I think that's a good thing is that each faction should have a really good list, and I think that's when you should get the rock paper scissors. But AMG has openly said they're not always trying to make units for competitive play, right? They want us to have fun with the units. It's just hard when, in my opinion, when you start to get really good at a game, it's hard not to see like, oh, this unit's just garbage. You know what I mean? Um, but overall, I do like this change. More importantly, it didn't touch my list, so I'm okay with that. My list didn't get touched, and I'm cool with that.
Because nobody knows your list yet. Like it's flying under the radar, dude.
I'm sure someone knows it because like so many people play this game. It's just not popular, right?
You think
Because
you're gonna see that exact same list
maybe
at LVO?
you never know. You never know.
If he plays in the right tournament, you might see it.
Right? You just
Outed him.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that. But what I was gonna say was, so they said April and November are going to be the month where they're going to have point changes and announcements for changes of the game and everything. I really like this. Do you guys like this?
This was actually the biggest change. This was the biggest change. They kind of casually said 12 to 18 months to look at changes, is what they said the first go around. So a year and a half to look at the game. And now it's and now it's all of a sudden changed to 2 times a year. So this was a huge, huge
Mm.
change. Huge change.
And
I like it.
honestly, I'm all for it because now we know to expect April changes, November changes. And now correct me if I'm wrong, but the new second half of the stuff that they're going to release for 2.6 is coming in April, right?
I heard late summer.
I heard summer.
It's
I
summer. I could be wrong, but it's not coming out before it comes. Well, I guess April will be after, but I thought they said late summer.
Yeah,
so they
I
originally
heard
did,
summer.
but in this announcement, the rest of the print and play stuff for the 2.6 is coming out in April now, and no longer,
Oh,
yeah,
yes. You know what? I think you're right in that the rest of it's going to be released print and play in April, and then the card packs come out
yes,
in the
correct,
summer to actually
correct,
buy. Yeah.
yes, yeah. So card packs coming out in the summer of 2025, but the April stuff, which is good, it's closer than summer.
But they didn't. I didn't like what they said that they were very quick to clarify this is not all units changing, and
Yeah.
most characters got a chain. So not even all characters are changing. That makes me worried.
Well, OP Luke's is one of them. They openly said that there's no change coming to OP Luke aside from the points.
Mm-hmm.
So he's going to be the
Which
same.
I mean, he's good. I mean, what how could they make him better? I suppose his command cards, if anything. I mean, could use a update since 3 of his command cards haven't been touched since support set.
Yeah, yeah.
um, so, but also, what's interesting is we saw that ability posts out the Shadow Collective. Remember all the mercenary cards and the posts that got taken
Oh,
down.
yeah, 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 yeah.
So I made it. So we saw it got taken down, and I made the joke in our Discord. I'd be like, "Oh, wouldn't that be funny?" It said quarter four. Wouldn't it be funny if it was quarter four 2025? And I'm like, "Oh crap! It is quarter four 24. That's not coming out in the next 2 months. We're getting the mercenary changes a year from now."
Well, wait, we're getting the card pack. So they could drop the
I
changes of
guess.
print play. That'd be the
I
most logical, right?
guess. Yes. Yeah. Hopefully. I
Yes,
don't know.
hopefully.
I'm not optimistic.
I've been confused on this for a while now. How I didn't see how 2. No, screw that. 3.0. I don't see how 3.0 like was like how was that bad for the Merc units? Like I was able to make almost any type of list with like a lot of access left over, and I don't see nothing on them that would be like, hey, this is relatively makes them worse. Like I feel like the shorter range makes Black Sun Enforcers way better. I mean, Pikes are in the same hell that Rebels are, but they're still more survivable than Rebels, I feel. Like I don't see like I feel like the Mandos got better just with the cover changes alone. Their short range guns do a little bit more. Like what's the hang up with Shadow Collective? Like I don't understand why it's a downward
Well, a
spiral
good
for
example
them.
would be Gar Saxon, right? I think
What's
he
wrong with
def
him?
a lot of things are wrong with him. I mean, his weapons aren't that good. Um,
The new
He
cover fixes that. He's not shooting into cover two anymore.
he needs something. He needs something more than that. I just don't think Gar Saxon is the par for the 2.6.
But
No,
that's a legacy thing also. Like what
sure, it was also a legacy thing, and I'm saying is that there might be not a lot of changes because I agree with you. I think a lot of the Shadow Collective units are still good,
they're
but
better.
there might be some little changes that we may not
And
be aware of.
and
Like the
also
Mandos.
yeah, but
Okay.
also don't just single out Shadow Collective. Mercenary cards, Bosk, Cad, Boba, Din. Those are all in that bucket. They said mercenary cards. Uh, and if I'm gonna, you know, if they're gonna really keep true to that word, you're even talking about Ewoks, right?
Yeah.
I mean, those are all mercenaries for armies. So um, there's a lot more than just Shadow Collective.
Yeah.
Well,
So,
I know, but I'm saying like when it comes to like the competitive aspect, everybody's like SC's doom and gloom, SC's bad, SC's terrible. But I'm like, I don't see like I feel like I was able to resurrect granted, I don't know how good it is now, but I was able to resurrect the Pike Ball spam list and still have like an extra 100 points left over, and all the slots were maxed out. Like I don't understand where oh, Shadow Collective changes are coming because that's all what I've been hearing. But I'm saying like I don't see what they need changed other than they just need more units.
I think it's because the main competitive list was Black Sun and a bus, but Black Sun and a bus, right?
And the
So that
bus
was
is not a thing anymore, yeah.
yeah. And Pikes, although still good, they are a little worse. It's not just taking two off of every spot, so they're a little worse in that respect. But Pikes were I hated Pikes, so they could go.
so the more important question here, Nick, is with this announcement, you made a statement saying, depending on what they announce, you are going to play Legion at LVO or Marvel Crisis Protocol. What's your game now?
Well, that statement was completely moot because that's when we saw the mercenary post. I thought I was getting changes to Din possibly before LVO, and
Mhm.
now it's pretty clear that I'm
No, no. But
not.
didn't I mean, I don't know. We've only played a couple times with 2.6, but didn't relatively better because of the Grogu change, right?
No, for sure. Grogu is a crazy better, right? Not a liability like he was before. Um, Din is still kind of the same. He doesn't do a ton with his what he can do. Like he tried to fight a squad of arcs and he got killed.
Mm.
So it's like he can't even survive against a squad of arcs. Um,
Arcs kill everything though.
yeah, but this is my like 160 point, operative unit. So um I don't know what I'm gonna do. Um it's nice to know that I won't be playing like 20 guard lists in a row, I suppose. If I go and play
No, you still are.
I mean not
Well,
as many, but yeah.
if you do go for
17.
Marvel Crisis Protocol, I'm curious to see how they're like. I want your feedback on their competitiveness there, like because I don't know how much competitiveness there is to Crisis Protocol.
Oh, there is. I mean, this is their championship,
The
the
Super
LD
Bowl.
because that's where the Legion Invitational Series came from. Because they do the MCP Invitational Series at LVO, they have a last chance qualifier to go in to the LVO MCP Invitational. They're also running a GT, and at least according to their packet, they run open play all day and 8-man scrambles like all
You,
the time. Um, so it's interesting, a little different.
you
It's so much easier though because the game's it's smaller, right? Three by
Oh yeah,
three,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
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 funny note though, the Williamson brothers were talking about probably going next year. And I'm sorry, JR, but if Nick goes next year and the Williamsons go next year and they jump to MCP, I might skip Legion and go play
Yeah,
MCP at
yeah,
LVO.
man. You seem like you're having a lot of fun with MCP, bro. I encourage you. Like, it'd be fun. But
I don't know yet. I don't know yet. I'm thinking.
Yeah, debating. Yeah, I think that's all the news that came out. I do like the change. I think it's overall good. Any last comments on it?
Can't wait for the rest of the game. Keep saying it.
Get better
Yeah,
play testers, AMG. You're ridiculous.
I just have to assume that there's stuff coming out that we don't know that's gonna make these crab droids good. I just don't understand. So, but we'll see what happens.
It's actually okay if you have a bad unit. I've like
No,
seven of them, so
no, that
it's
should never be
okay.
a
You have a
thing.
bad faction. What do you mean? Seven of them. Your entire bad. Poor Nick.
So yeah, so and it's just getting used to the rules, the rule changes. Like my game with Rob was the overhang rule,
Oh
which
yeah.
is frustrating because what overhang says is if it's off the piece of terrain, right? And you classify off as off, right? There is no technically not off, right? It's off. And so me and Rob got into it because technically his units were off of the terrain, but since they hovering overlapping the terrain, it counted as in still, which is one of those rules that I'm just like, that's very frustrating to learn. And the wording is important, AMG,
Well,
I
now you're
I
gonna abuse it.
yeah.
but you don't want to abuse it.
No, but you will. Now you will abuse it.
Well, another thing that Rob did was that he ran a 7 act list, 3 Dark Troopers, but the pass pool says units. So he technically had 10 things in his pool order tokens, and he got 2 passes off of it,
Mhm. Yeah.
which that's another one I think it might be an oversight from AMG. That honestly, if Dark Troopers start getting run that much again, that's probably the only time to
They
slow.
gotta have something. They're like
Yeah.
really
They're
bad right
terrible.
now. You gotta give them something.
Yeah. No, I mean, for sure. But that
It
overhang,
can't. It canceled out your advanced intel. Is that why you're salty?
no, I'm not salty at all. We were practicing lists. It was the overhang one that really got me heated because I didn't fully understand it until he explained it in a way that I did understand it. And I was kind of pushing back harder, like I was kind of being stubborn about it. Um, and then I was just like, "Ugh, okay, that's kind of dumb because it's off technically, but it's
Did you
hovering.
guys check the Discord rules
Well,
and
yeah,
see
yeah,
if
yeah, yeah. Because I mean, we would check the rules and everything, but like it says clearly in the rules that it's got to be hanging off of the terrain. And if it's hanging off, but the train's underneath it, then it still counts, which is dumb.
Hmm. I don't know about that. I may be just
yeah.
wrong.
Hey, I think the same way, but like the way people are playing it now is like, hey, it can still be hovering over the terrain, it still counts. And I'm just like, all right, I don't. Yeah, I think it's one of those niche things where it's just like since terrain is so unique and different and coming in all shapes and sizes that you got to have some leeway on that ruling because not every terrain piece is going to have a flat surface, right? And that's not fun if you can't jump over or climb on stuff if it's all funky and wonky. Is my now interpretation of it.
There's too much leeway in terrain defining and stuff like that. But I've said that forever.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. There's no such thing as a perfect table, right? So
I mean, no, there's not. But like, I don't know, like an MCP, a building's a building. The only thing that changes is the size, and that's it. Like that's the size determines what this is. That is it. Like it's so streamlined and so simple. It's like you really don't need like overcomplicated rules. And then it's like here's what terrain does. Here are the rules for terrain, but players decide what terrain is or how it functions. Like I hate that aspect of it.
that's at the luxury of that MCPs is a smaller game, and there's no like unit with multiple minis in it aside from a couple in MCP. So cohesion is a thing, and that's going to play very different with terrain, right? And it's a broader game, so going to get more in depth, which is just every game that gets like that.
But players should never have free reign to dictate what their table is. Like that's I've always been even before playing MCP, I've always been a staunch person about that. Like old FFG Legion, you could open the rule book and like they were so detailed. A river and what it could be, and that's it. One, what it could be this or that. That's it. Not players being like, oh well, this river does this river does that. It might do this, it might do that. Like the rule book even had like building separation from like a full on building, and then you're reading down, and then there's like a crumbling building, and that had different things like dictating what it is and what it can be is far better than here's the table and here you go. And it's because the reason I say is in personal experience is at LVO when I went, like I played tables and they were a specific way in my game. And then I was lucky enough to play next to some of those tables I recently played on. And then the guys next to me had a completely different game because of how they completely redefined the terrain versus how me and my opponent did. Like I feel like that's very, very swingy. Like a table should play the way a table should play. Like, and I feel like giving players agency, not agency, giving them free reign to dictate how a table plays is like it's dumb because it's an essentially a completely different experience versus a static this is how this table's ran. And I've never been a fan of that.
The real problem with JR's game was they weren't using official AMP models. That's really the was
You just gotta love the samurai and the medieval stuff. You gotta go with it. Um,
Nick, like this wonderful. Do you see the ATST?
yeah,
Does
yeah.
that is that such a hardcore
Just
ATST? You see
shooting.
that?
It's
Look
gonna
at
be
that.
brutal. It's gonna be brutal.
People, JR says this is an ATST. A legal ATST. Just saying.
No, I never said it was legal. I said it's ATST. But
yeah.
I'm all for the fun. If it's fun, yes. As long as it doesn't impede gameplay, thumbs up for me.
Oh, do you like how you're gonna go Club Baby Seals in the non-invitational?
Listen, guys, you gotta have
People
the
are going
goodies.
to be having fun that
You
are
gotta have
like,
the goodies.
and then he's taking his competitive list and just stomping on.
I don't think that's how it's gonna work though, right? Because I think you're still gonna have people competitive in the GT.
Well, no,
Um,
so no, the GT will be competitive, sure, right? There's
mhm.
gonna, I mean, for the most part, if you're going to a big tournament, you're playing to be competitive. You're not even a competitive player, right? You're playing to go. You're also wanting to have fun.
Right.
You're trying to win, right? I don't know how you are telling us that you're going to go play in the GT instead of the Invitational. The guy that, and I'll say this as nicely
No,
as
no, no.
possible.
Give it to me. Give it to me raw.
Say,
Just give it to
I
say,
me.
knew he was gonna say
say,
that.
say as nice as possible. The guy that I've never played a relaxed game of Legion with
Okay.
ever,
Okay. Hold on.
ever.
Hold on. That's a misconception. Okay. That's a very misconception.
No,
Here,
no.
okay.
So that's a misconception only by you.
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. You're punishing me for having good lists, but I've never brought the same list twice.
Oh yeah, you have.
No, I haven't. Named one time
Yeah.
I played the same list twice against you.
Oh, I played your mall B1 spam.
One time.
No, a lot. You forget. We used to play in Stormtide together, and you brought the same
Hold
list
on.
every
Hold on.
time.
Hold on. Hold on.
Every time.
The
Every
storm.
time it was
But
Maul, your character, 7 or 8 B1s.
okay,
Every time.
now you're really fishing because we were
No, I'm
both
not.
we were both restricted. We were both restricted.
No, we weren't.
I hate when
We
Yeah,
mom and
we
dad
played
fight.
anything we want. We could change our list every week.
but when we first started playing Stormtide, you know how they had that
No, even
restricted list.
after even after we could change, you
I
didn't
hold on.
change.
Well, to
So
also be fair, there wasn't a lot in the CIS back then. It was B1s and then Dooku Mall and all that. Like I didn't have a lot of options.
in addition to that, a game against you is not a relaxed, fun game.
Okay,
Yeah, it's a
It's
chess
not.
okay.
match.
It's not. So, and
Before you go to the point, I need some critique here, okay? Because I want my games to be fun, right? So I need to know why they're not fun.
they are, and this is not like always a bad thing, but they are um they're tense. They're tense.
But
Um
define tense. Don't be too broad.
you will remeasure something if it's a little off. You will um you will not give the things that most casual players don't even think twice about giving. But I totally understand you don't give those things because they don't do that in competitive tournaments.
Right.
So you don't play kitchen tabletop miniature games
Mhm.
like
His
like
models are.
yeah, your models are, but so and that is again not a bad thing per se, but it just means that you're that type of player. When I play you at my house versus anyone else I play at my house, it's so much more relaxed than when I play
Right.
you.
Right.
You want to pick table side. You want to go through that whole rigmarole, which I get it. It's part of that, but my tables are country trained everywhere. You still wanted to pick table side. Do you know that every other person that's ever walked in and played me, I always say, "Are you fine if I'm here?" And they go, "Yeah, you stay there. I'll go over here." Never once have they said, "No, let's
Okay.
let's go.
Hold
Let's
on.
let's
Hold
let's
on.
examine every terrain here.
Hold
You
on.
know, this building's right here,
No.
and if I get
No.
on that
Brings
side,
out
No.
I can
measuring tape.
if I get on that side, I can end this game by turn two instead of turn three. So let me go over there so we can end it turn two."
I'm gonna push back a little bit here on the table side. I've only done that. I mean, don't get me wrong. There's other games where I would like to pick table side, but there's only one game, and that was a recent game that I pushed back on that. And the only reason why I pushed back on that is because you complained about my Baron dice, and I was just like, oh, here we go, Nick. Here, that's the only. And honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. It was just like it's tomatoes to tomato. You know what I mean?
So, in addition to that, in
Mhm.
addition to all of that, which is again a nice way of saying you're a good player,
Right.
but right, you're gonna skip the inaugural LVO Invitational with some of the better players that you could ever play against in on the West Coast
Mhm.
to maybe win that. The first one, the first LVOIS to win the first one to be crown champion as a competitive player that you worked towards this.
Right.
I mean, you're practicing your list all the time, and then you're not gonna go to that tournament and play against all the people that are again good players. There's gonna be good players there too, but the people that didn't get into it, I don't know. I have a problem with that. I
Yeah,
do have a
yeah,
problem with that.
I can understand the problem. Honestly, the honest truth is I haven't decided. I'm debating at this moment. I haven't really made up my mind. I haven't made up my decision on what I want to do. Um, but the promo stuff does sound pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. It's pretty nice. And like okay, and I agree with your criticism, right? It's very, and this is just me in general in life. Like it's very hard for me to learn a certain way and then to unlearn it. Like it's it's been the story of my life, right? People tend to not have fun, which is fine, but like I've always been the person in my mind of just like I want to be good at something, I'm gonna be good at it, but I don't want to like be overboard with it, if that makes sense. Like I don't want to be I don't need to win a championship to know that I'm good. I just want to be the opponent that you're gonna have a tough time if you play against me, right? But like it's interesting because I don't understand the dynamic of how you you not, I don't want to say unlearn, but you just don't a relaxed game in your words. You
Yeah,
know?
it's not a relaxed game. I've
Yeah.
actually, I've actually, I've actually kind of decided that I probably, I probably don't want to play you after work anymore.
That
That
makes
was
sense.
that was it
After
too. Like
work.
That
after
makes
I
sense.
after I've worked like 10 hours and
Mhm.
doing that, like the last thing I want to do is like then play a stressed out miniatures
Yeah,
game and
yeah.
like
It's not a
be
game
like
at that point.
and be like all
Yeah.
sweaty into it. I want to just like some models around and make pew pew noises, right? Like I don't
Yeah.
like so yeah, it's different.
And that makes sense. Like I totally understand that. And that's, some people don't play this game to be super competitive. Some people just want to have fun and casual and everything. And like that's why I think like maybe maybe I just gotta hang up my belt, guys. Just let everyone else just
No,
have fun.
Come
you,
play MCP.
No, oh, so okay. So this is the problem. This is the problem right here. Like people tell me that, and this isn't the first time they tell me about this game. This is happens all the time. Like, okay, I'll come to this game, and then the same. It's just this cycle, this vicious cycle. You know what I
It's
mean?
it's not the same, bro. It is really not the
But that's
same.
the thing is
You
that's not how I work, right? I will see the game, I'll understand the game, and then I will do what I did in Legion to the game. And it's not to make anybody not have a good time. It's just how can I complete the objective as quickly as possible, right? But
so I'm not saying change. I'm
yeah,
not saying change. I'm saying why do you play that way if you're not going to go play the invitation? That's where I can't connect that. This is made for you. This tournament is made for you. This is a tournament where you could go to,
Mhm.
be challenged.
Yeah.
Every opponent you play against is going to enjoy the challenge for the most part. I'm
Mhm.
being, obviously generalizing the whole competition, but they're going to be challenged. They're going to want to challenge. They want a good hard game of Legion to be played
Yeah.
over those 2 days. So that's what's where I can't connect the dots. This is for you. This is like what it's for. This is where you're supposed to go. You it's like you've been following the yellow brick road all the way to Oz, and then like at the last minute you're saying, "Oh, look over there, let's go that way." I I don't get.
Honestly, like I said, I probably will go to the invitations, to be honest.
he
I just
guilted
wish
you into that.
no, no, because like when after we had that conversation of probably the last podcast, and then I was just like, is Nick right that we're not getting the same stuff? And then I asked LJ and everything, and I was just like, oh man, like because one of the things, and like this is one of the things that like got to me right was our Vet Fest when I rolled those dice. He's like, hey, that's not official. I was just like, he's right, and I was just like. Okay, I need a promo dice then because I can't settle for normal dice. I need the promo ones, you know?
You're only
But
gonna
that's
get two, two
that's
of
true.
each.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I don't know. I too like to have fun, and you're right. This tournament is made for my kind of competitiveness. So I'm not saying no. I'm just saying GT sounds a little bit more appealing.
All I'm saying, JR, is you should play in one of Nick's cool MCP free tournaments, and you'll see what fun people having great times and smiles
Okay,
and
so this
all that joy is gonna
until
be.
until I roll in. Like, okay, I don't know if you know this. So you both are good examples. Me and Nick used to play all the time. We would play Stormtide. We would play at least once a week. Jose, me and you played all the time, at least once a week. Now it's not that way no more, guys. You guys left
Well,
the
now
house.
it's because I don't have a lot
I,
of time.
I don't want to hear that because you play Unlimited and you play Crisis Protocol.
No, the last unlimited thing I played was the pre-release. Before that, the last unlimited event I went to was the store championship in Porterville, and that was like 4 or 5 months ago. I have not played unlimited. As a matter of fact,
I'll be honest, JR. I have
my
tons of time.
my
I just don't want to play
my
you
Cad
anymore.
Bane deck that I made after
That
set
makes sense.
two. is
I'm
right
just
here, and
joking.
I know you are.
been
I know
played.
you.
It's only been played twice.
Yeah.
Like I don't even play on Su.db anymore. Like I'm telling you, like I do want to play more. I don't have the time. Like it's crazy. Like I hate my old job, and but the thing that I realized that my old job did was it afforded me full control to dictate where my scheduling was versus where I work now, where one of those days is automatically off. Like I only get to pick one free day for my second day off to place wherever I want. And then differences being like with my job now, my old job, I could take 4 weekend days off, you know, any Friday or Saturday or Sunday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So 12 weekend days a month. I could take 4 off at my leisure. I could take every Friday off, every Saturday off if I wanted, whatever. With the job I have now, I get one Friday off or an early shift. Other than that, I'm closing. I have to take Sunday off, which is now dictated as the family day. And so now I'm like Nick, I'm rushing to play stuff after work because that's just the way it lands. Like it's crazy, dude. Like I really truly don't have enough time. Like set one for unlimited, I played every Saturday, every Sunday, every Friday. Set two for unlimited, I played having never played a store championship, and I'm sorry, I played one store championship, and I've played I think twice at Premier Play at Legends. Like that's set two. Set two's been out for 3-4 months.
So,
Like even
what is your excuse before you started playing Unlimited?
before I started playing unlimited. What do you mean?
Playing me. It's okay. It's a mute point, but
Yeah.
I think I'm doing you guys a favor, but not playing Marvel Crisis Protocol.
I think you
Yeah, no,
underestimate
no,
how hard that is to like. That's not.
no, he's right. Our league is called the No JRs Club. So he's not allowed.
You should see when I play board games. I'm even worse.
Well, no. See, the thing with me, and I know we're side tangenting, but like this is my second league I've been in,
Yeah.
and I've played against the overpowered list like Guardians. I've played against Asgard. Like I've played meta like against meta teams, not playing meta, playing X-Men, and they're okay. And
X-Men are
now I'm
good.
playing Apocalypse, but it's like it's not as determined as Legion. Is Legion so finite where you can get it to a point where it's like no matter what in this game happens from here on out, I have the checkpoint.
But
That's
see,
it.
I
They're
I think
checkmate. That
I
you
think
can't
that's
do that
every
in
game.
MCP.
I think that's every game. Every game, when you first play it, it's really fun. You're learning a lot and everything. And then you get to a point where you understand the game and you just, if you don't do a certain move, you get frustrated because that's the most optimal play. And that's every game you learn. You get to that point where you're just like, I'm not having fun with this game anymore. And that's why I think I encourage people like, hey, play a different game. There's a bunch of games out there that you can enjoy learning and playing. And then eventually you're just like, man, I miss Legion, and you go back to Legion, right? That's just how the cycle goes with every kind of game that's been out there. I mean, look at Call of Duty as a prime example. You're gonna grind the multiplayer to unlock stuff, and then you're gonna get bored of it because you probably unlocked everything, and then the new Call of Duty comes out and you play that.
I'm a multiplayer guy. I don't touch anything like even Warzone. I didn't touch Warzone really. Like I didn't touch zombies really. Like I'm the guy who can play multiplayer for hours and just talk trash. I don't even care
Yeah.
if I did bad. Your mom.
Yeah. This is the other thing. I got one last argument for you, GR, that you didn't play the Invitational.
Uh-huh.
This is the first for somebody that wants to be good at something, how do you even know if you're good?
Well,
Who have you played? Who have you
yes,
played?
yes.
So you need to go to this tournament
Mhm. Well,
to test yourself.
I agree. I honestly would associate myself as a big fish in a small pond, and I need to, play other people because I will learn more. And I think that's important is to learn in any game is when you lose, there's something to learn to be better at, right? So I don't disagree with you. I get it. But man, am I a sucker for glitter.
the AMG prizes are cool. The dice is cool.
Mm.
Um,
I want that map.
Legion's a little bit of a kind of a funny disadvantage because we have so many different kinds of dice. You only get two of each, right? So you're not getting a full set of
Yeah,
anything.
right.
While if you go play MCP, you're going to get six MCP dice, and MCP only has one type of die. So it's like you almost have like a full set. And same with like Shatterpoint, which only has two dice, right? So it's kind of funny. Legion's kind of the less enticing one because you're not going to have everything you need. Um, and even the cards too. I was looking at like all the foils in MCP or in even Shatterpoint are so much more like useful versus the cards you're going to get in Legion, where it's like you're going to get these several command cards of armies you don't even play, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, yeah. I literally have a foil Leia unit card that I'm just like, well, I'm never gonna play her, and now 2.6 came out, so I guess this is obsolete.
Maybe if you were having fun, you would play Rebels and play Leia.
I
But
will,
you don't
I
want to play
will
Leia.
as soon as they come out with Viking Rebels, then I will be on board with that. And to be fair, I do play the Ewoks, so I could technically play Leia. But yeah, yeah. I know, I get it. I haven't made up my mind because
This segment of Guilty and Jar has been brought to you in part by Nick.
but yeah, we'll see. I know I get it, and I'm with you guys. I was really looking for to play in invitationals, and then well, here's the thing though, is I can't do both. I mean, technically I can do the first day, right? And then I'm there for the whole week, the weekend. So it's just like, okay, well, I want to at least play. Like that's what I loved about when I go to LVO is I play all 3 days. If I made it to top 8. Now it's kind of like, well, I can play the first day and then go to invitationals and play in invitationals, or I'm out one of the two, right?
I have to think that they're gonna get something going for the invitational players on Friday. There's got to be something you guys will do, even if it's just a small little
That's
round
what,
robin or something to
yeah,
play.
that's what I'm
Because
hoping for. I know LJ and all of them are gonna announce more information as we get close, and I think that's what I'm kind of hinging on is as we get closer to the date, more announcements will come and follow, and it's just like, okay, well, when those announcements come and everything, I can make a more informed decision on what I want to do. Um,
because I could be wrong about this, but I would think that if you choose to play in the GT, you are forfeiting invite.
I don't know.
Well, and I don't know what they're doing, but if just logically, I feel like they have to do that. Otherwise, if they don't do that, then every invitational player is going to come play in the GT and then drop the next
Well,
day.
well, that
So so you can't allow the invitational players to come play the GT unless they forfeit their invite.
um,
Because what if 20 players join the GT, play one day, and then drop? What happens to the GT tournament?
yeah, yeah, that's true. That is a good point. Which would suck because I think I really do hope they have something for us then. Because like I want to play all 3 days. Like I want to be sick of my list already. You know what I mean? But
I'm sure there will. They're all gonna be there. They're gonna be playing Legion. What else is everyone else gonna be doing? They're all gonna be there on Friday as well.
yeah, yeah. I mean, maybe some people are just like, I don't gotta show up to Saturday. Then what we could do, Nick?
I doubt
You
that.
know,
I
you
doubt
know, you know, it'd be cool. It's just like, okay, they have the GT tournament, and then they have the GT tournament for the IS people. It's just like, okay, this is your own little GT tournament that you're playing on Friday only, and then IS. There you go.
they technically can't do that because then everyone would have to be invited to that. Because that's the whole thing about the GT rules. It can't be not open to anyone to buy a ticket.
Oh,
That's the difference. Yeah, that's the AMG. That's why Adepticon is not an invite anymore. Anyone will be able to sign up for the Adepticon GT World Championship.
yeah, yeah. Oh man, this is such a conundrum. This is lame. Like, why do they gotta do this to us? I don't. I'm not. I don't. Why can't they just support who to be the grand champion?
You'll be the invitation.
You never
There's
know.
a there's already a lot of GT champions. There's been GTs going all throughout the year. There's a ton of GT champions. There's only going to be one LVO
This is
IS.
true. This is true.
Only one.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see, guys. I'll let you guys know as soon as it gets closer.
I've decided for you, so it's all right.
Well, it seems like we're losing, guys. We lost Jose, we lost Roman. You know, you might go
Wait,
play MCP.
wait, what do you mean lost?
Well, Jose and Roman are going to LVO.
What?
Yeah. Sorry if I added you out, Jose. I don't know if that was
All right.
public statement.
We can't go talk about this on the cast. Let's end this and then we'll talk to Jose.
Okay. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. The overhang rules are BS. Any last words, guys? Crickets.
Hire better play testers, AMG. For the love of God. Stop doing this internal nonsense. Bring JR, Mr. No Fun. He'll tell you what's busted. He'll do it for free too, just so you can just see the new stuff before we do.
My first thing I'm gonna tell him is like, nerf Jen, she's too strong. I don't like it.
Yep. Double's still bad.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.